Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to extend a warm welcome to all of you for attending this press conference. And it's the first press conference our Executive Director is addressing. Okay, my name is Thomas Saja, in person with United. This is the first event we are having with our new ED, and we are very excited. I want to thank you all for taking the time with short notice to come here. One thing I want to assure you, members of the press, is that at your habitat, we see you as allies. And we are always open. If you need any clarification or any news, you can always call us. You can call anyone of us, from the ED to the any other person. And what I'm ED, these are some of the top user organizations in this country. We have representation all over, and from all over the country. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on the high table, we have the Executive Director, Madam Maimunah Mohd Sharif. We have the Deputy Executive Director, Dr. Aisha Kashira. We have the Director for Regional Office for Africa, Mr. Nelson Mutiza, and we have the Director of External Relations, Ms. Christine Musisi. I'm going to hand over the microphone to the Deputy Executive Director, who will introduce the Executive Director. Thank you very much, and once again, I thank you for your time for coming. Thank you.
Many thanks, our dear Executive Director, Madam Maimunah Sharif, distinguished members of the media, colleagues from UN Habitat, good morning to you all. I'm very honored and delighted to introduce our Executive Director, who joined us on the 22nd of January after having been appointed as the Executive Director of UN Habitat. Madam Maimunah is a town planner by profession. She has served as a senior leader in her country and a distinguished leader in Malaysia. And in particular, I'm very delighted that she has come from the constituency that UN Habitat serves. She was mayor of Penang for over 6 years, where she served as the first woman in a distinguished and significant manner and brought forward the role of engaging with communities, the role of engaging with women, and the role of transforming systems and policies towards gender-based budgeting, towards inclusion, towards space and voice in such a manner that it won her recognition to again be accorded the responsibility of leading as the president of the Association of Mayors in the whole country in Malaysia. We were therefore very delighted when she was appointed by the Secretary General as the Executive Director, and I must say that for the last 2 months, we have enjoyed her leadership because I'm not surprised that she has invited you, because the first thing that came from her is that she believes in governance and accountability. And therefore, she knows the role of media in enhancing that. She's a team player, she is a listener, and she has engaged the team in UN Habitat that we all belong, we feel a sense of belonging and a sense of family, even though time is limited because she needs to deliver. But she believes that we can only deliver together with her and can only deliver together with you. So I want to thank you very much for honoring her invitation. And I can just say quickly that in these few weeks, she's been able to go beyond the corridors and compound of the UN to see what we're doing with people in crisis and refugees. She serves from the heart. And we have seen that practically. And I want to say that we're very delighted because we believe that she's bringing the soul of the people that she brought to Penang to UN Habitat, to Nairobi, and to those that we serve globally. So kindly I request you to join me in welcoming Madam Maimunah to give us her speech and give her the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aisha, the Deputy Executive Director of UN Habitat. A very good morning to fellow friends from the media and the journalists from here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be here with you today. I'm grateful that you have made time to meet me here. I value the role of media in advancing our common interests, in ensuring that every man, woman, and child live a decent and fulfilling life wherever they are. As you know, and also you heard from the Dr. Aisha just now, that I arrived in Kenya on the 22nd of January this year, just over 2 months. So this is my first press conference and also first meeting all of you. I'm very happy to see friends in this room and to take up this position of Executive Director of UN Habitat. I was warmly received and met with the Cabinet Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Monica Juma, and also the Cabinet Secretary of the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, Mr. James Macharia. It is a true privilege and honor to serve in this position here in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm hoping that my partnership with you will enable us to accelerate progress in our global commitments to eradicate poverty and promote economic, social, and sustainable development for all. I hope, therefore, that this is the first of many opportunities that we will have to interact. And I look forward to building a close relationship with you during my time with UN Habitat. Ladies and gentlemen, before I was appointed by the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, I served as a mayor of Penang for 6 years. I was the mayor, the first woman mayor to be appointed as the president of Municipal Council of Seberang Perai. Just let me explain a bit about my city. Penang State, we have two local government. I was the first president of the Municipal Council of Seberang Perai on the mainland for 6 years, and after that, promoted as a mayor of Penang Island City Council. It's just like Hong Kong, Kowloon and Island. So I served in both local authorities, but the longest is in the Seberang Perai and 6 months in Penang Island before I came here to Nairobi. And I also was the president of the Malaysian Association of Local Authorities. In Malaysia, we have 152 local authorities. I was the president, and I am a town planner by profession. And also, as Dr. Aisha mentioned, I'm also a strong advocate of human settlement and cities, which everyone enjoys a good quality of life where they decently live, work, and play. When I was a mayor, I have a very great relationship and partnership with my friends media and also journalists, because I believe that media friends and journalists play an important role in promoting, disseminate news, progress, policies, ideas of a city. But here with you, I would like to have that collaboration, that close partnership with UN Habitat as an ED in UN Habitat with the journalists, so that we can work together to promote the mandate of UN Habitat, but of course to give the good quality of life to the people. For example, I have a very good relationship with media when I was a mayor, when we talk about the clean environment in my city. The journalists play a very, very important role when we roll out the policy of no free plastic bag every day in Penang. And journalists really believe in it, work together with me, and we had around 24 programs for clean environment. We include all level of communities, from the school children, from the parents, from the community, and we also promote trash to cash. And due to that, the good relationship with the media in promoting our policy, we even lead to the local economic development. The people in my city came up with the idea of creative and innovation of an alternative to plastic, and lead to the small scale industry producing machine for the to handle the organic waste, and end up become a business. So this is also the help of the media, and also the friends from the journalists who believe and work together with the mayor at that time. And I would like to create that similar relationship, partnership with the media, with all of you in this room, and also those colleagues out there maybe cannot make it for the PC this morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we know half of the humanity currently live in urban areas, set to reach 70% by 2050. So urbanization actually is a critical process that has to be managed well if we are to achieve social, economic, and sustainable development. But unfortunately, much of urbanization, particularly in developing countries, is unplanned. So it has therefore led to the growth of informal settlement, traffic congestion, increased air pollution, inadequate basic services and infrastructure, and vulnerability to disasters. So here, well-planned cities and human settlement drive innovation, consumption, and investment in both developed and developing countries. So cities can take the lead to address many of the global challenges of the 21st century, including poverty in both rural and urban areas, inequality, unemployment, environment degradation, and climate change. So who will be the mediator for all these policies? Part of you will be you, my friends, in front of me, so as a journalist and also as a media, to help us to promote the policies of a good environment and good governance. So the UN General Assembly adoption in 2015 of Goal 11 as one of 17 goals of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals, that is to make cities inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. And the new urban agenda in December 2016 was an epochal recognition of role of sustainable urbanization as a transformative force in human development. So as a focal point for human settlement and sustainable urban development in UN system, UN Habitat, we catalyzes transformative change in cities and human settlement. We combine knowledge, policy advice, technical assistance, and collaborative action to support governments at all levels and stakeholders to ensure the well-being and dignity of all people living in cities and human settlements, be it in the context of stability, crisis, or post-crisis and recovery. So, UN Habitat present in 80 countries worldwide. Over the past 40 years, UN Habitat has supported countries in developing national urban policies, improving access to affordable housing and urban basic services, prevention and upgrading of slums, reducing risk and building resilience and rehabilitation after crisis, is all guided and grounded in good urban planning and design, strong municipal economies and financial mechanism, and good governance. So I think you heard recently in February about the World Urban Forum in my country, in Kuala Lumpur. It just looked like arranged by the Almighty that I become the ED of UN Habitat, and the World Urban Forum is in Kuala Lumpur. So it gave me an opportunity actually to meet many stakeholders, to have a bilateral meeting, to meet all the stakeholders in my dealing as a ED of UN Habitat. So World Urban Forum is in our convening role. We mobilize global, regional and national urban actors every 2 years through the World Urban Forum. So the 9th session of the forum took place in Kuala Lumpur last month. It hosted 22,000 people from 165 countries, from government, private sector, civil society and major group. So the theme was Cities 2030, Cities for All, implementing the new urban agenda, which highlights the importance of inclusive access to all aspects of city development, to all and leaving no one behind. So the Kuala Lumpur Declaration highlighted priorities for all actors in establishing an enabling environment, multi-stakeholders platform and purpose, propose actionable recommendation to advance the implementation of new urban agenda. So moving forward, I am here as a new ED of UN Habitat for the past 2 months. I am committed together with my team to strengthen UN Habitat as a valuable partners for government at all levels and stakeholders, including you, my friend, the medias, in providing innovative solutions for sustainable urbanization based on practical knowledge, proven good practice, and at scale. Such scale can be possible through strategic partnership with a wide range of stakeholders in public and private sector, and harnessing the power and potential of communities. It is also believed in harnessing the often neglected power of women and the youth in achieving this objective. So while we already have a good program in Kenya, I here would like to strengthen our partnership with the government of Kenya, the country government, and the other stakeholders to scale up our work through transformative partnership. I have established a task led by our Director of Africa to support more strategic and integrated programming that is aligned with the government of Kenya's vision and UN Habitat area of specialization. The director is on my left, is Professor Nyson. And we will collaborate closely with the United Nations Resident Coordinator, Mr. Sid Chatterjee, and the UN country team in the delivery of our program. So, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, it is my plea that you support us, UN Habitat, in popularizing the new urban agenda and in advocating the right policies, action and accountability framework that will ensure a decent and dignified life for everyone in cities and human settlement. I am hopeful that you, as a Kenyan media, will take up this matter as the host of our global program to promote this agenda throughout your country, in Africa and globally. And here again, I would like to say thank you very much for coming, and I hope this is the first and won't be the last I'll be meeting you as a ED of UN Habitat. We will inform you of our program, and we hope that you can promote and also be together with us in all our program. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Executive Director. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now into the session and the floor is open. If you have any questions, you can direct it to the ED or any of the people seated at the high table.
I forgot to introduce my team. On the right is Christine, is the director of the external relation. Far right, and my right, I think you have heard her just now. My deputy, Dr. Aisha, and my wife is Nathan, is the leader for the African regional office. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, and also Leon is on the IT. And Jeremiah, I think you know him. I think I don't need to explain Tom. And who else? Taina is my personal assistant. And also Ivy is on the communication. These are the team that is together with us today. And my photographer, Julius at the back. And together with Grace. Yeah. Yeah, I think I mentioned everybody here. Okay, please, if you have any question that you would like, I'm 2 months old. If I cannot give you the answer, I have all my general on my right and my left, and also at the back. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As the ED has said, just bear in mind that she's been here only 2 months, so she might not know a lot about the country, but things happening. But as I said earlier, we are very open to the media. You can ask any question. We will try our best to answer it. My request is just kindly state your name and the medias you are representing, and I also hope you've given us your contacts so that we can keep in touch whenever we have any function. I can reach you directly. Thank you very much. Any question, please?
Thank you, my congratulations.
Thank you.
My name is Faisal.
Faisal, yeah.
The first question is the Kenyan government is planning to undertake a rapid housing program to about 1 million housing units in the next 5 years. So, A, do you think it's feasible given the time frame? And B, what would you recommend given that you have experiences from other areas? What would you recommend the government does? And given that you've visited Nairobi, what have you learned from that? And what can the government do to improve that as well?
One at a time.
I propose we take at least 3 questions that the ED answers as a go as we move. They can kindly tell us the medias representing and your name. Thank you very much.
My name is Nicholas from KBCTV. I have 2 questions. First, I would like to know what are these called new urban agenda that the UN has? Maybe could you explain further what it means so we can understand where the UN is coming from in this agenda. And on that note, maybe you could explain to us, or any of you could still explain to us, how far is Kenya is from achieving the UN standards in achieving housing standards in the country? How far are we as a country? And maybe what should we do? And as a UN habitat, of course, we have experience in this sector. Maybe you could give us the innovative solutions that Kenya could adopt to make sure that we achieve these standards that the UN habitat is looking into helping us to achieve. Maybe what are these new innovative solutions that we could adopt? And how are we as a country doing it wrongly in terms of achieving these agendas? And lastly, I would ask this question about maybe have you considered maybe starting apart from the task force to review the agendas that you want the government to achieve? how are you partnering with the government to realize this objective of achieving these sustainable households in the country and the clean environment for that matter? Thank you so much.
Yes, my name, thank you, Madam DB.
Yes.
My name is Duncan Boyle from Chinese News Agency.
Duncan.
Madam, maybe you can elaborate a little about the task force that you formed,
Yeah.
chaired by Nation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your question from Faiza, K24, yeah? K24 TV, Dorothy from KBC, the national television, and my friend and namesake, Don Boyla from Gladys TV, Gladys News Agency. Thank you. Another thing, the email will be available. If anyone will do want maybe a one-on-one after this press conference, you want to interview your father, she's available. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thanks for Faisal. Thank you very much for your congratulation remarks. And I know that when you congratulate me, that I'm been welcome to Nairobi. Okay, you talk about the housing program and how UN Habitat can come together or collaborate or participate in this. I think, yeah, we are aware, even though I'm 2 months here, I'm aware about the 4 big pillars of the Kenyan government, and one of it is affordable housing. As I mentioned in my speech just now, that we already formed the task force, how we can collaborate in terms of giving expertise, giving technical assistance in achieving these affordable housing pillars of the Kenyan government. That's why I already met the CS James Macharia. James Macharia, yes. When during our discussion, said yes that we can collaborate together in terms of giving some the advice and also the best practices that we have involved before in the providing the advice and also the expertise in the housing section. So that is the reason immediately we formed the task force headed by Nyson to look into this matter and how we can work closely with the Kenyan government on housing. And from Nicholas, what is the new urban agenda and also how UN Habitat can link to the new urban agenda and also talking about affordable housing, yeah, if I get you correctly. If you look into the new urban agenda, I'm not sure whether we brought it the book. Did we bring the book of the new urban agenda?
Yes, it's the press.
In the press kit, yeah, there is a new urban agenda. If I'm not mistaken, there is 175 commitments of in the book. It will be translated into at least six or seven languages. And as a guide or as a commitment for a city or for a country, for a nation to go towards having a good quality of life for the people, and also what are the steps that should be taken if we would like, because now if you see that is by 2050 70% of the people will live in an urban area, and how can we tackle, how we can plan, how can we get the integrated holistic sustainable development plan policy that is the forward planning for any cities, because 175 commitment was committed in Quito by all the 163 countries of UN, and this one should be translated, and how it can be translated is depend on the first is a commitment of the government, and also is because different areas have different way, different stages of urbanization. So I think we have to localize and you have to fit the local new urban agenda into the local situation. So that's the reason why I can pass it to Nelson afterwards, that we already, I think Kenya already have this Habitat Country Program document
Yes.
for Kenya for 2018 to 2021. This one working closely together with UN Habitat. So I will get Dyson to explain that more further, so that how we can tap the new urban agenda and putting it in our or in every country's policies. And of course, at the end of the day, we are looking about depend on the, for example, like Kenya, there are talking about 4 big transformation pillars. So I think I will let Dyson touch a bit on the Habitat Country Program document for Kenya 2018 to 2021. And the task force from Duncan, yeah, Mr. Duncan, the task force, actually when we went to see, I have the opportunity to go to meet the CS Juma Monica, yeah, and also the James Machiraya, that when we had a discussion, then I said that how can we work together? We cannot work alone. So that's why UN Habitat, I believe in teamwork. That's the reason why we propose, we formulate, we have one task force, and of course, Dyson is also the officer at the regional office of African, and we have our team, and now we are formulating the term of reference and how we can work together with the Kenyan government in giving the expertise and also giving any advice and assistance that we can, because we would like to strengthen the partnership between Kenyan government and also UN Habitat. So these are my 3 answers. I will pass to Dyson to add on, or ETED, you want to add on? Pass to Dyson. Dyson, okay.
Thank you very much, ED. I'll add on to what the ED has already said in response to the first question. The answer was, well, the question was whether a million housing unit program is feasible. It is feasible. There are examples here in Africa of countries that have actually achieved that. An example that comes to mind immediately is South Africa. You may recall that when they transitioned from the apartheid regime to a fully democratic dispensation in 1994, one of the key pillars of their transformation was just like the one that President Kenyatta is advancing now. They wanted to build a million housing units, affordable housing units, and they were actually able to do that. I can't quite remember how long it took them, but they were able to achieve that. Other examples in Africa are Morocco. Another example which I've become aware of recently is actually Mauritania. Because in Africa, in our cities, at least 60% of the residents live in informal settlements, or what we call slums in Kenya. So when you are thinking about housing, you really have a double problem. You have improved living conditions within slums, at the same time that you are preventing the development of new slums by providing new affordable housing. So the examples that I'm giving, Morocco, for example, was able to mount a nationwide slum improvement program, which has been very successful. Mauritania is doing the same. So the key to slum upgrading is you cannot do it piecemeal. It has to be citywide. It has to be nationwide. For new housing, you really have to address the challenge at the scale that it presents itself. So if you build small projects of housing units, you will not be able to address the problem. So for Kenya, two issues really are critical. Enough land is to be assembled to develop housing programs at scale. Then sufficient financing has to be put together. It doesn't have to be always government financing. In fact, in most countries, private sector financing, if you know how to package it, is going to be very useful. As the ED has said, she has put together a task team, which I'm chairing. This task team is not just about housing. It cuts across, really. We have experts in the area of urban legislation, in the area of urban planning and design, in urban economy and municipal finance, in housing and slum upgrading, urban basic services, urban resilience and risk reduction, and urban research and capacity development. So that is the composition of the team. So finally, let me say that in the meetings that the ED has had with, especially with Cabinet Secretary James Macharia, we kind of broadly agreed on what kind of support UN Habitat could provide. First of all, we agreed that UN Habitat could provide strategic support to think broadly about what Kenya wants to achieve, and then to advise the government how to go about it in terms of the issues that I've talked about. How do you approach slum improvement or improvement of the informal sector? How do you provide new housing? And how do you package the financing? How do you deal with the issue of land, including land tenure for low-income people, people living in poverty? Finally, the ED wanted me to say a bit about what we call the Habitat Country Program document for Kenya. This document is what guides our work in Kenya. It was developed by the government of Kenya, involving civil society and the private sector, with guidance and involvement of UN Habitat. It's a document that is going to be signed by the Cabinet Secretary Macharia, and our Executive Director. It's a new document, and it will guide the programs and projects that we are going to implement in Kenya, including the pillar on housing, the pillar in the Big Four agenda of the President. So this document is a number of priorities. I think there are 6 of them. What we are calling strategic action directions. The first one is improved land management and sustainably planned human settlements. That's the first strategic action direction. The second is improved access to quality urban basic services and infrastructure. The third is improved access to quality and affordable housing and sustainable slum upgrading and prevention, which is now ranking topmost among the Big Four agenda. The fourth is innovation in improving urban economy and finance. The fifth is improved urban governance and resilience. And the sixth is improved capacity development and sensitization. I know I've spoken too long, so I'll stop here. Thank you.
I just want to add a bit about the, I mentioned just now, there are 193 countries of the UN, 193 countries, just to add that. And I think there's one other question just now asking me about the affordable housing and my experience in my own country. Yeah, I think by Faisal asking that. I think what we we need to support the government to turn the issue of housing into the job creation opportunity, and we have to create the policy and also the financing framework to enable that. For example, like what the Nelson said just now is the involvement of the private sector, because I involved directly in the as a mayor in Penang in the housing policy formulation of affordable housing policy. There are a lot of opportunities because government alone, I think, can do a certain limit, but with the public-private people partnership, we can get more. But in order to invite the private, there must be a formula to have a win-win situation to come in. So I think these are the things that we would like to share through the task force, that the formula or the methodology that we have in Penang and also in Malaysia, and how we can share the best practices with the Kenyan government if it is suitable here. It is more on the involvement of these private sectors. But as I said, we have to come up with the policy with the right formula. And again, I went to Matare during my third week here, and I saw the young people in Matare. They are very active and very good potential and very innovative and creative lot. I think if we can have a program to train and organize certain activities in that area, we are looking together with our team UN Habitat Youth to see how we can come up with a program, and also to address in terms of creating job, the needs of housing, and even cleaning in that area in the way that they are living. And I remember that when I met the girls there, they are very, very energetic, spiritual, and even I said that, well, one of them mentioned to me, he said that, oh, our area is quite dirty, but I said that, can you promise me? He said, yes, what can I promise you, Edie? That you yourself don't throw rubbish everywhere. You yourself throw rubbish at the appropriate place. Can you promise me that? Then they said, yes. So if that, I said, then that this change come from your own self. Then you will transmit it to your brothers, sisters, mothers, and all that. So I think this is a good practice, and we hope that we can work together with them and also with the Kenyan government. Thank you very much.
I forgot to answer one question about the housing gap. What the figures that we have from the government of Kenya is that every year, annually, there's a housing gap of 200,000 units. And of course, this is, accumulating every year. I'm not quite sure about the overall housing waiting list for Kenya, but it should run into millions of housing units, because we cannot count the inadequate housing in slums where a lot of people are staying now. I mean, that's not adequate housing, because for what we promote is adequate and affordable housing. But in Kenya, every year, 200,000, a deficit of 200,000 housing units is being added to the housing list. Thank you, Mr.
Just a follow-up on what you're saying. So maybe you could explain to us what wrong has Kenya been doing? What have we been doing wrong to end up to where we are currently? What have we been wrong? How do we change?
Well, I wouldn't pretend to explain what has been going wrong. But how I can respond is to say what I know about how successful housing has actually worked in some countries. As I say, maybe I should have mentioned also the matter of political will. If you don't have the political will to address this challenge at the scale that it presents itself, then you are not going to go very far. And I can say now in Kenya, the political will is very strong. Housing, affordable housing, is one of the big four agendas, one of the four pillars. So housing is high up there. And if you start with 1 million housing units, then that should not be just the end. If this can now be integrated into future plans and budgets of the Kenyan government, so that slum improvement or informal housing improvement is integrated into this annual budgeting cycle and devoting enough resources to address that challenge. But as I said, if you address only slum upgrading, you are probably not going to be able to do it fast enough to stop new slums or new people moving into slums. You need a very strong housing policy to provide new housing. And again, that requires, like I said earlier, you need to assemble sufficient land. A lot of people, low-income people, cannot afford land. So it is the government, it's only the government and local authorities that can actually do something about that, to improve access to land. The financing has to be put together. There are many now innovative ways of, as the ED was saying, of public-private partnership to ensure that sufficient housing is provided. In fact, we are thinking here in Kenya of working together with the government on a particular housing scheme. In Maboko, on a 55-acre piece of land, where the land is held by the government in trust for UN Habitat. And the government has now come up as part of the Big Four agenda to say, well, we can work out the financing so that together we can do a housing project which can demonstrate what is possible in terms of design, in terms of financing, and so on. And then this can be replicated in the other counties as well, and not just Nairobi. So finally, let me say there has to be a concerted approach, which is nationwide. At the city level, if you are upgrading slums, it has to be citywide upgrading, not just focusing on in a piecemeal fashion. And I would say Kenya, I think, is poised really to address this challenge in a much more concerted way with this Big Four, agenda. The ED also mentioned because housing is not just providing a roof over someone's head. It's also about jobs. The way you provide the housing, are you creating jobs? The way you design the new settlements, are you providing enough space, open space? Are you providing enough space for social facilities like education and health? Then there's water and sanitation. So it's a whole package. That's why the team, the ED has assembled, includes people with skills across the whole range of what is needed to make human settlements function. Thank you.
Can I quickly, just very briefly, compliment the Commission ED? Just very briefly to complement what the ED and Nelson have said. I just want us, maybe we'll have another time to discuss this in detail, but the issue of housing, the deficit is not unique to Kenya only. I think most of the African countries today are having a deficit on housing because the pace of urbanization is simply too high to be proactively supported with the necessary infrastructure, including housing. And that's why what the ED said is important, that rather than look at housing, maybe we should look more at job creation. Because when you look at job creation, then you will meet the need of housing and food and education and the rest of it. So it's important that, and that's why UN Habitat is supporting the integrated urban planning and territorial approach, that we have got a healthy urban-rural linkages. And I think also as media will help us, because I can see some trends on the continent that are quite promising, but we need to tap into them quite quickly. So recently, when the member states get together and say, let's open up our borders and have a common trade market, what does that mean? It's opening up opportunities. Of course, there are challenges, but if we can now plan in terms of urbanization along those trends, along coordinated infrastructure development, along better access to energy and the rest of it, then we can tap into that. But if we let those big policies pass without us practically on ground creating the necessary dialogue that transforms into policy and investment, then we miss the point. So it is right that there's a deficit here, but I just wanted to make it very clear that most of the cities here on this continent are facing a deficit that increases every month, every year, because every day somebody's moving from the rural to urban, hoping to get a job and not really getting it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Any more questions, please?
Yeah. Concluding remarks.
Okay. Thank you so very much. Before we go to the EDU, two quick things. At UN Habitat, we are very proud that we are one of the only two UN agencies headquartered in the so-called third world, and as Kenyans, this is something we're very proud of. Number two, I know Kenyan journalists, we are very, since I'm one of you, we are very passionate about gender parity. And as you can see, at UN Habitat is achieved it. Though under the new Kenyan constitution, we are breaking the law because it has to be 2/3. There should not be more than 2/3 of any gender, but I think it's a piece of law we are breaking very hard. Thank you so very much. And I want to give the ED to make the concluding remarks. And as I said earlier, if you want one-on-one with the ED, she's available. And if you want any more clarification, not only today, but any other day, you can always call us. And I request you also just to give us your names for our records so we can contact you directly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. Again, here I would like to take the opportunity to start the starting point with me, UN Habitat, and as me as an ED, to have the relationship and partnership with all the medias and the journalists here to promote the agenda to have the sustainable development in Kenya, in Africa, and also in the global stage. And if you just for your information, in fact, even now we have around 8 ongoing project with Kenya, and we have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planned project in the pipeline, and we also have 3 main project is already completed maybe in last year. So we are here to stay. We are here to collaborate with you. If you have any feedback that you would like to give an input to UN Habitat, I will distribute my card with all the media, and please feel free, because we need a two-way communication, and we also need all of you to promote our policies, our program, and also our ideas. And I also would like to have an ideas from the media. Because when I was a mayor in Penang, I received a lot of ideas from the media because you are very close to the ground and you know the real issues, the real challenges. Feel free to write or to email to us. Then we will see how we can work together. And I hope that we can get the constructive feedback from all of you. Here, our role is to give a very good quality of life to everybody. Thank you very much. And Asante Sane and Sana and Jumbo. That's the only two things that I know about Kenya's language. I promise I will learn more as I go on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have some small refreshment of the function, and there's also a small bag. I hope we have for all of us.
You can have my card here.
Okay. The ED's card is here. And as we said, those who don't want to one-on-one, you can just come to me and follow the next. Once again, thank you so very much. We let it in the time for granted. We really, really grateful for your presence. Thank you.
Is it possible to take photograph with the media?
The ED would want to take a photograph with you people for
with all the media, so that I can remember you. Is it okay? Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Best place.
Where is the best place to take the photograph? Outside. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for your intelligence. Thank you very much. It's really good.